We need to talk. You asked me.
Love and Basketball, Why Quincy Should Have Never Gotten Involved in His Parents' Drama. There's a scene in Love and Basketball that hits harder as he gets older, when Quincy discovers his father has been unfaithful. That moment changes him. You can see it in his posture, in the way he starts viewing love, trust, and even his own identity. And honestly, that's where everything begins to fall apart. Because the truth is, Quincy should have never been caught in the middle of his parents' drama. Kids should never have to carry their parents' mistakes. It's easy to sympathize with Quincy. He idolized his dad, Zeke. In his eyes, his father was everything he wanted to be: successful, confident, respected. Then suddenly, that image crumbles. The man who taught him discipline and pride becomes a symbol of betrayal. Quincy doesn't just lose faith in his father, he loses faith in men, in commitment, in connection. And once that happens, he starts drifting through life like someone permanently angry but not sure why. That's what happens when kids are exposed to adult pain too soon. They pick sides, they absorb trauma that isn't theirs. Quincy didn't know how to separate his father's mistakes from his own identity, so he built walls. He stopped trusting guidance from people who cared about him, choosing instead to define himself through rebellion. The result? His life spiraled, not dramatically, but quietly. He quit communicating. His basketball career suffered. His relationships grew unstable. Even his connection with Monica became conditional. He wanted love, but only on his terms, because love no longer felt safe. The problem wasn't Monica, and it wasn't basketball. It was the ache of a wounded son pretending not to care. And Zeke, his father, tried to reach out, but Quincy couldn't hear it. That bitterness was louder than reason. Eventually, the gap between them became permanent. No reconciliation, no closure, just two men haunted by the same moment, one for what he did, the other for how he reacted. That story always makes me think about how fragile emotional maturity can be. Parents, even with the best intentions, underestimate how deeply personal conflict affects their children. The grown-up thing Quincy needed to do, something most of us only learn later in life, was to separate who his father was from what his father did. But he never got the tools to make that distinction, so instead of growing, he froze in that betrayal. Because once kids carry emotional scars from their parents' relationships, those wounds leak into every bond that comes after: friendships, romance, even work. Quincy's downfall isn't just tragic, it's painfully relatable. So many adults walk around angry at people who remind them of a parent's mistake. Healing only starts when we realize we never needed to carry that pain in the first place.